Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another video where I talk about levels and see whether or not I like them. And today's video topic is about bad parts in good levels. Basically, when there's a level that I deem pretty good and I really like it, but there's just that one part in the level that, while it doesn't ruin the level, I do deem pretty bad compared to the other parts of the level. The thing about a bad part of a level is that this mainly comes from mega collabs, and the reason for that is because making a mega collab with every part consistently have the same quality is a pretty hard thing to do, since every creator is different. And as you will see in this video, every level except for one that I will be talking about is a mega collab. Once again, these are my opinions, and if you don't agree with it, then more power to you. And don't send hate to the creators that will be mentioned because, again, most of these are mega collabs and making every part consistently good is pretty hard. And with that out of the way, let's start the video starting with... A lot of people will probably be confused on why Subsonic is here, but I genuinely really like Subsonic. Sure, it's not my favorite in the Sonic series, but it is a close second. And I think a lot of the creators did good work on their part. Terran's part is a pretty good opener for the level, and G-Boy's part is a nice follow-up to Terran's part. XCY7's part is a nice cool part that fits really well with the theme and the song. Dudex especially has a really nice looking part with the block design and the colors. Viprint does his usual thing, not much to say there. I was considering putting Viprint's part on every Sonic series for this video, but the more that I think about it, Viprint's part is like one of the reasons why a lot of the Sonic series levels are as iconic as it is. Rustam surprisingly has my favorite part, which is pretty rare because usually he has my least favorite part due to his style, but no, he actually did pretty well here. The Devon has another part I really like, although I will say that it does look a bit cluttered sometimes. Pan's part surprisingly works very well despite having zero movements and being a bit slower than the other parts. And Jazor's part is a nice closer to the level. I gotta say, all of these parts are pretty good quality. But unfortunately, there is one part that I feel like don't meet the same quality as the other parts, and that is Invasium's part. I was actually debating with myself on whether Invasium or Samsar has the worst part, but eventually I chose Invasium. The problem I have with Invasium's part is that it feels very bland. Compared to the others, there's nothing really going on besides the pulses. The air deco feels almost non-existent. I didn't even notice they were there until I took a second look at the part. The colors too just look kinda ugly. Just having pure white on the majority of the block design just doesn't fit well with the empty background. The fact that it pulses to black, blending it with the background more, and making it look more empty, really doesn't help with this part of the level. And while arguably Samsar's part looks a tad bit uglier, I think the block design looks a bit more interesting and the colors make Samsar's part look more appealing to look at. But the Invasium's part just straight up looks bland and ugly and really just looks so unfinished compared to the other parts of Subsonic. Idols. Where do I start with this level? This level is just straight up beautiful. Almost everyone did their parts beautifully. It is such an eye candy to look at. Some people may call it glow slap. I think it fits perfectly with the theme of the level and the song. By the way, the song choice is excellent. It is one of my favorite mashup songs ever. Everything just feels so alive, and despite being so all over the place, it doesn't feel cluttered or messy at all. It's just it's just perfect. You can really tell that every creator that participated had a very fun time decorating this level, and it is such a joy to look at. And despite the level being 4 minutes long, which for a GD level is pretty long, it is never boring to look at. A pretty hard feat to do for an XL level, and while some people might get bothered at the nostalgia bait, I think it fits perfectly well considering the song that it used is a mashup of a lot of nostalgic EDM songs. This honestly could have been one of my favorite levels of all time if it wasn't for this one goddamn part. Okay, I'm a bit over exaggerating here. Bernard's part didn't completely ruin the whole level for me. That'd be just ridiculous. But wow, Bernard's part is just so bad. So let's start off with the obvious, the 1.0 blocks. Yeah, I don't know what they were thinking. This does not look good and it really doesn't fit with the background. And the brick blocks with its colors that's used just makes it so much more ugly. It's too vibrant considering the main blocks that's used. Then there's the rotating glow that's used that just doesn't fit to the part at all. I mean, none of the things fit with each other at all, but this just adds more fuel to the fire. It is so pearly white like a non-British person's teeth. Yeah, you said you were safe on the Brian YouTube channel, Brits? No, screw you. With the tiniest bit of blue visible. The only good thing I can say about this part is the background, but then again, this is just stolen from proximity. But to give the creator some slack, the gameplay they got to decorate in itself is not interesting. Literally just multiple triple spike jumps. However, there is a way to fix the part, and it's demonstrated in the 1.9 remake Idol 19. The gameplay isn't anything too different and the part looks so much better. Just change it so the proximity logo follows you through the part instead of just reappearing occasionally and you're good to go. But the part as it is now just doesn't fit the bill with me considering all the other parts around it. No, your eyes are not deceiving, and yes, the name of the level is exactly what it is. I did not expect a super buff remake of Stereo Madness to be as good as it is. I mean, if you got Foxycat and audio visual in your level, it's a guarantee that it's gonna be good. It's honestly, and I'm not kidding when I say this, kind of beautiful to look at. I know it may sound ridiculous, but the level is just that good, I'm telling you. Starting with Gepsoni 4's part, which is a pretty nice and clean looking part and a very good opener. And X Vanadia's part is a nice follow-up that flows perfectly from Gepsoni 4. And then the Foxycat's part is just, oh my god, it's so good. It is my favorite part of the level. I love the effects that's used, I love the background, everything about Foxycat's part just feels so alive. It is such a perfect part for the drop. And audio visuals part is just on another level. The space theming just fits so well with the level and the decoration with the effects is just perfect. And then we ended up with a nice part from Tricipital and a pretty cool end screen. Everyone did so well with their parts and everything is just so well executed. Mind you, this level is a super buffed version of Stereo Madness and it went this hard for no reason. So imagine my surprise that the worst part of the level is from the host himself. I kinda don't wanna do this part of the video cause, you know, what if by the slimmest of chance I get to collab on a video with Fortrox, cause I really like his content. I don't know how it would go, but you know, what if? But alas, I have to speak my truth, and in my opinion, Fortrox part kind of sucks. The biggest problem I have with Fortrox part is that compared to the others, it just looks so much more empty and bland. The background looks too simple, literally just a classic brick block scattered around randomly. The block design is almost non-existent, there's really nothing interesting going on with it besides faintly pulsing to a brighter color. And also, there's just no effects going on. I'm not saying this is a bad thing in general, but compared to the other parts in Stereo Extremeness, this part having no effects just kinda hurts the part more. And on top of that, this part just looks so outdated. It looks like it was made late 2.0 to early 2.1 where the whole generic level fiasco was happening. This part doesn't ruin the whole level, but still, compared to the others, it just feels kind of out of place. Again, it's actually kind of interesting that the host himself has the worst part of the level, cause, you know, the host is the one that has the vision and you kind of expect for them to have the best part. And again, Fortrox, no hard feelings. Collab fit though? Surprise surprise, this level is not a mega collab, it's actually a solo level. Although looking at the level in its entirety, it might as well be. Astral Divinity is amazing. Especially at the time that it was made, it was truly ahead of its time. The art throughout the level is so detailed, it is amazing even for today's standards. The block design too is very detailed and variable throughout the whole level. And despite Astral Divinity being a solo level that feels like a mega collab, all of the parts feel like they belong with each other. And while yes, some parts might feel like glow slop, I think it fits really well with the overall feeling of the level. I probably won't have any problems with it if it wasn't for the replacement part. Okay, so before I say anything, the part in itself looks great. I love Persona 5. And the way Nobuboy recreated Mementos, one of the main areas in Persona 5, is amazing, and it captures the aesthetic perfectly. But putting it in a level like Astral Divinity just feels sort of odd to me. Astral Divinity feels more so like a glow plus art type of level, and randomly putting something like Persona 5 whose style is more stylized just doesn't fit too well. And not only that, it transitions very awkwardly. Like one moment you're going through a typical GD Glow level, and then out of nowhere the Phantom Thief sent a calling card on you. Well, okay, maybe there's a reason this part was changed to a Persona 5 style. Because a brief history lesson into its Astral Divinity, it was originally called God Eater. But it got into some legal trouble with the IP holder of God Eater. I believe it was Bandai Namco, I think. And so God Eater was forcibly removed from the server, and Nobleboy had to replace the name to Astral Divinity and remove all aspects relating to God Eater. Maybe the part that was replaced had some God Eater aspects in it, so he did a complete rehaul on the part. Except no, this part isn't related to God Eater, and it's actually based off of Xenoblade, which isn't owned by Bandai Namco, so this just caused more confusion on me. Thing is, if Nobleboy wanted to put a Persona 5 reference in there, he could very easily do so without rehauling the entire part. Just put silhouettes of the various personas there, like, I don't know, Robin Hood and Loki, or this one's a bit spoilery, but Satanael and Yaldabaoth. And besides that, there's already a part that I feel like needs a replacement that's not the one that he replaced. The ending cube. The ending cube already feels a lot more empty compared to the others, and that might be an intentional thing. I never liked the look of it, so a Persona 5 looking part in here would actually be kind of cool. Sure, it might last for like seconds, but like so as the other parts in this level. And so yeah, the Persona 5 part in Astral Divinity just doesn't sit well for me. Well, that's the end of the video. Did you agree or disagree with my opinion? Maybe there's a level that you think deserves to be in this video. Let me know in the comments below, and maybe I'll put it in a sequel if I ever make one. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe, since I'm trying to hit 2K by the end of the year. That's all I have for you today. I'll see you all later. Bye bye.